So why do people unfollow you on social media? Getting followers on social media is hard enough, but keeping them can also be a challenge. And we surveyed you, the video influencers community. We have 5 big tips, plus we're gonna be doing some Q&A in this video. But if you're new to video influencers,
welcome to Video Influencers. I'm Benji.
I'm Sean.
And here on Video Influencers, we're helping you build your influence, income, and impact with online videos. We've got weekly tips and trick videos, as well as interviews with some of the most successful YouTubers we know. So consider subscribing if you're not already.
Yes, and we're super pumped to talk about this content because we know you're trying to build your influence, your income, and your impact online. And getting followers on social media can be tough, but we also lose them, right? Because of different reasons. So we asked you guys, and we've been getting some tweets, and we have 5 reasons, but we want to go a little bit deeper. So we'd love to hear from you in the chat or in the comments. What are some of the reasons you unfollow people on social media? And we'll do Q&A in just a bit. But the first one is really negativity, complaining, and talking about, subject matter that people don't want to hear. And Haley said this: there's a bunch of negative Nancys. I say peace. I have no room for that type of energy in my bubble.
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I want to remind everybody is there's so many people posting about everything. And these days, with everything happening in politics, around the world, all these very violent things, no one wants more negativity, right? Obviously, it's a place for you to communicate with your audience, but try to always keep in mind the person that's reading this on the other side, right? And if you're just filling somebody's social media feed with all this negativity, all this hate, it can really grind on somebody's attention and they might not like it.
Yeah, and we think there's a huge opportunity right now to really stand out as a positive voice, as someone, who's a light in the world. Obviously, there's channels where it's relevant to talk about politics, of course, news, negative situations. You don't want to just pretend that things are okay when there is real issues in the world. But at the same time, I think we all know complaining, right? We all know when it's just kind of a dark cloud. You're like, dude, that person or that girl, man, she just needs to bring some light in the room, lighten up a bit. And so really think about your own content. Are you too negative, or are you maybe too positive, or are you somewhere in the middle? Let us know in the live chat.
By the way, first off, let us know, you guys, we're doing this outside right now. We're here in the Pacific Northwest. Let us know in the comments area if the reception is good. And also, additionally, put your questions down there because we do have Nice Chris in the background. He's reading all these comments.
Absolutely. So the second one is a lack of original content. So Kevin said, well, politics, but retweets instead of personal thoughts. Personal accounts used for link sharing instead of personal thoughts, or any combo of the above. And then Dino said all they do is retweet. And so there's something about, moving to a place where if all you're doing is just consuming content and then just sharing other people's stuff, that's a good thing. It's always good to share people's content, retweet stuff. But you might want to move from just being a consumer to being a creator, and really creating more original content.
Yeah, and keep in mind, if you're watching this, you want to or are an influencer. People are following you, of course, because they want to know your opinions, but they're looking to you for content, original content, specific to your YouTube channel. Of course, there's a lot of people that are watching this might not be a YouTube creator. However, always keep in mind you're wanting to add value into somebody's life, not necessarily just put stuff that's interesting in front of them. So ask yourself, when you put something out into the world, is it something you're proud to stand behind and that you'd want to share with all your audience? Obviously, if you're already sharing it, you probably are okay with it, but always understand that you're trying to protect their attention because there's so little time to have it. There's so many posts out there, so always keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And there's something so powerful about creating original content. I think the reason people don't do it is because it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's easy to sit there and just click the retweet button, but it's much harder to get to work, set the camera up, think of an idea. And so challenge yourself. If you really want to grow your social media followers and not lose followers, go for that original content, which really ties into number 3, which is people posting content that's not valuable. And Safar said, too many updates or attention sinking, but with no value.
Absolutely. Again, going back to why we do, YouTube, why we have channels and put out content. We want to add value to somebody's life. And this is the same thing on social media, even more importantly on social media, because these are one of the reasons why people are unfollowing you, right? Obviously unsubscribing from your YouTube channel, but on social media with so many other people with accounts, tweeting things out, posting on Facebook, putting images on Instagram. Always ask yourself, am I going to add to this person's life, right? Like, is this actually going to inform them? Is it going to add to what they're doing? Is it going to help them? Because too many people put out just random stuff. Of course, don't get me wrong. I put up my recipe videos or I put up images of what I'm eating, but I'm always asking myself, like, is this going to annoy somebody or is it going to actually help them in some way?
And that's a great thing. Benji, you're talking about a framework where before you post, ask yourself, what value will this give my followers, or what value will it give potential followers? And be able to answer that. Be thinking, is it inspiring? Is it educational? Is it motivational? Is it inspirational? Is it just funny? Is it just comedy of some sort? Is it random? But if it gets a little thin and you're stretching to find the value, you might want to reconsider posting it, because again, people are on the other side and they're like, dude, what's the point of this? This doesn't make any value at all. This doesn't make any sense at all. And so definitely always focus on the value.
Absolutely. So I'm just trying to get into the comments area. Do you want to get into the next comment or next question?
Yeah, we'll get to questions in just a second, but let's jump into number 4. So what we talked about, so these are reasons why people unfollow if you're just joining. Negativity, complaining, talking about politics too much if you're not a news channel, lack of original content, just retweeting, not creating original content. Number 3 is no value, just attention seeking or too many updates without value. Number 4 is too many promotions, too many sponsorships, or spam. And so Jessica said, too many sponsored videos that are not relatable. And Cynthia said, too much, blah, blah, when it's only ads content. Don't do ads in every post. And then Conrad said, if people post too often, or it's uninteresting stuff, it's salesy, right? It's pushy. So spam, salesy content, and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, this, of course, is common sense to us, but we understand that everybody has a different perception. But ask yourself, do you want to see all commercials when you're watching, Game of Thrones? Well, of course, that's one of the reasons why you watch Game of Thrones. There's not really very many commercials. Is there any, in fact,
I have no
on
idea.
HBO? Right? So no commercials. So when you post up that post or that tweet or Instagram post and it's a sponsored piece of content and you're doing that over and over and over, not just on a daily basis but multiple times a day, it can be tiring to your followers. So always keep that in mind. We think it's it's a good thing if you're getting sponsorships and brands are wanting to support your content and integrate their brand, product, or service, but always have a balance. So it's the same thing with social media. In fact, it's one of the quickest ways to lose followers on social media.
Yeah, so don't, post too many promotions or it's a balance, right? You said that. And then number 5 here, and we're talking about what happens. The topic of this video is why people unfollow you on social media, 5 reasons. The 5th one, and then we're excited to get into a few questions about social media. Plus, we want to hear from you guys in the live chat. What are the biggest reasons you unfollow or tune out from people on social media? But Wendy says too much of the same stuff or too many posts all together. So posting too much or repetitive content. And to be honest, this is a huge challenge, right? I mean, even in video influencers, we're challenged to come up with fresh tips, fresh strategies, to be in the trenches ourselves creating videos. And that's it. The reality is that eventually you're like, okay, what can I do that's new? We can fall into these ruts of repetition. And so we really encourage you, if you want to stand out on social media, build your influence and really make an impact, you have to stay innovative. You got to get inspired again, stay creative again, maybe take a break, think about, maybe watch what other people are doing, think about things you could be inspired by other people's content to improve your content. But man, when it gets repetitive, you got to get out of that rut fast, because it's why people are unfollowing you.
Yeah, I know me personally, when there's people that I follow, whether it's personal people in my life or other influencers, and they're literally posting like 30 in a row, I'll forgive them once, but if they're doing that day after day after day, especially on Instagram, sometimes people do these crazy like albums and they're not doing the carousel, posts where you can put multiple in one post. They're literally putting like 10 different images and it shows up on my wall. I'm gonna unfollow you so quickly. Like I said, not just people that are influencers in my life, but even personal friends and family. Again, because there's so much content out there. I'm trying to protect my attention. I want stuff that's gonna feed me, that's gonna add value to my life. If you, in a way, I feel like it's spamming me with your type of content. I say work on quality versus quantity. So really think before posting 10, it's like, how do I capture one image that I can share that really stands out among them and create engagement? I know the reason why a lot of people actually do this is because they want to get attention. Well, on social media, a huge hack right now is working the algorithm. And one of the things that algorithms want to see is engagement. So that's why people like Gary Vaynerchuk asking his viewers to add comments like within the next 60 seconds of them posting. That's what's going to get people's attention, not blasting 10 different photos, because that's actually going to hurt you and potentially get people to unfollow or unsubscribe from your channels.
Yeah, so we've been talking about why people unfollow you on social media. We just shared 5 reasons,
Yeah.
and the question of the day is, why do you unfollow people on social media? Let us know in the live chat, or if you're on the rebroadcast, let us know in the comments. If you got value out of these tips, smash that thumbs up button, hit that like button. We're super pumped that you're here, whether live or on the rebroadcast. And we can see you in here, and a question just came in about clickbait. And so I want to put this up, and if you have any questions, let us know in the live chat now. But as a new YouTuber, would using clickbait titles be a bad thing or a good thing? Azayaf asked.
Well, first off, I think that clickbait can be good and bad, right? If clickbait actually serves a purpose of what the person is seeing and is like leaning to valuable content, I think it's a good thing. If it's just for the sheer view, you can actually hurt your channel. The YouTube algorithm specifically, they don't want to just see people going to a video. They want to see people going to a video and watching a majority of it, right? If they're going to the video only watching 1 to 3 seconds and they see this multiple times, they know that this is potentially a clickbait strategy and it can actually hurt you. So I believe as long as it truly represents what's in the video, it can actually be not only a good thing, but appropriate.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great comments, guys. Thanks for bringing these comments in. If you have any questions, do us a favor, post like 5 question marks before it and after it, and it'll really stand out as a,
Chris, you got a question?
As a question.
Chris, nice Chris behind the camera. You want to switch it around, show him? Leave your comments, you guys. What's the question that you think we should answer right now?
How can I grow my channel as a kid?
Ooh. Well, okay, this is what I can tell you. I personally am on the parent panel for YouTube Kids app, and I can tell you that's one of the biggest, most quickest growing segments of YouTube. So be proud that you're a kid, number one, because your generation is just like using up not just YouTube, but social media at like speeds that even Sean and I cannot keep up with. So I would say this, if you want to grow fast or grow a YouTube channel or social media, do things that you know the most about. So like if you're into Legos, right? Like if that's your favorite hobby, no matter if it's popular on the internet or not, talk about Legos. So that's number one. And then 2, you know what? You should learn from other successful YouTube kids, right? Or other creators that are, like younger, and find out what are they doing. Now, I have to disclose, if you're under the age of 13, you have to ask your parents, even on social media in general. But hopefully those are good tips for you as a kid content creator.
Absolutely. Ellie asks, we're trying to build our audience. Should we turn on AdSense with a smaller channel or wait until our audience is larger? So that's a good question. And, there's different ways to think about it. I've always thought, and nobody can speak to this, even certified YouTube experts, I've always kind of wondered if you don't turn on AdSense, YouTube wouldn't like you as much. But that's not really verified. They say that whether you turn it on or not, it's not going to affect, whether your videos rank or where they are positioned. So that's one thing to consider. They say it doesn't influence it, but maybe it could help. But more than that, I think that early on, we recommend turning it off. For video influencers, we didn't turn it on for about 1.5 years, probably over 100 videos. And the reason why is because we are much more interested in like getting to know you guys first, like building this community first. And if you don't know people yet, if you're just starting out and you don't have an audience yet, the last thing you want to do is put this interruption in between someone and their chance of getting to know you, especially for like 30 cents, right? Because it doesn't add up to much early on. So we've heard this from different people we've interviewed. Lewis Howes with the Great Podcast. He didn't monetize his podcast for 2 years. Eventually, he started doing sponsorships, a lot of other things. But we always say, build your influence first. That's why we say influence, income, and impact. But influence comes first. So if you can hold out on monetizing, that's always a good strategy.
Totally. And keep in mind, when you're first starting out as a YouTube creator and even on social media, you have to convince people first that you're worth following, that you're worth subscribing to. So again, that 20 to 30 seconds that ad is playing is getting in the way of you pursuing that task or being successful at getting people to want to follow you, right? So that's what we say. Regardless of the algorithm or not, you're starting at zero. So literally, there's 0 people in the world interested in your content. Of course, once you build an audience, it's almost like proving to other people that you're interesting enough for all these other people to follow you, so people can forgive a ad. They think it's actually worth watching an ad to get to your content because so many other people already are following you. But if you're just starting out, I definitely say turn off the ads. It's not worth it in terms of the positive you get when you do have it off.
Absolutely. I think we could do a couple more questions, and then we're actually batch shooting videos today. We're going to get back to shooting, but we just wanted to hang out with you guys for a bit. There was a great tip here that
question?
said...
Chris, what's up?
Right here. Does YouTube not promote monetized videos more than non-monetized?
So we did just talk about this, and I don't know for sure, you know, and the question really is like, if a video has an advertisement on it versus not an advertisement, does it actually promote it? This is my advice or my thoughts on it. I believe YouTube wants to get the best content to the person that's searching for it. So I don't think they actually care. Now, obviously, they want to make money and they want to help other creators make money, but I don't think that determines. I don't think the algorithm is going to favor a monetized piece of content over non-monetized in terms of getting onto people's search queries.
So Luis asks, how do you promote your YouTube content with Instagram? And that's a great question. And, you know, I think this is what we say a lot here on Video Influencers. We think it actually takes a mindset shift, and it's this thought. Instead of trying to use Instagram to grow your YouTube channel, grow your Instagram with Instagram. And this is true for all social media. We believe, now don't get us wrong, we could share some tips, but we believe that you can use Facebook to grow your YouTube channel, and you could use Twitter to grow your YouTube channel. But the mindset shift is, instead of thinking that way, grow your Instagram influence on Instagram. So it's a big shift, because what people don't want to see, and this is sometimes reasons people unfollow you, they're on Instagram, they want to see Instagram style content, maybe a little bit of lifestyle, good photos, you know, even video clips, even live video and stories, everything that's happening in the Instagram ecosphere. That's what people are there for. And if all you ever do on Instagram is say, you know, go watch my new YouTube video, there's a link in my bio, then that account is just a promotional account. It's not an actual value account. So imagine if you switched your strategy and thought, what kind of content, and I'm not sure which niche you're in, but for everybody watching, what kind of niche are you in? Are you a cooking channel? Are you beauty? You know, are you gardening? If you are, then share gardening and beauty and cooking tips right on Instagram. Share your final recipes right on Instagram. Share video clips that are 60 seconds each, or a carousel up to 10 minutes. 10 60-second clips could be the stages in a recipe or the stages for a DIY project. Every time you swipe over, there could be a fresh video with a tip that builds out right there on Instagram, right? So it's a different strategy, but then here's why it's powerful, is because if you build Instagram influence, like people are paying attention, they're liking your photos, and they're actually engaged there, then when you say, hey, I got a new YouTube video out, you actually have people paying attention because they're following that quality content and the value that you're putting out on your Instagram page. And so that's the one tip, and that's the way, if you go to my Instagram, @Sean Cannell, you could see that pretty often I'll just post a photo and I'll say a few things about it, and then in the description I just say link in my bio, and that's the main way to get people to from Instagram to your YouTube channel. The second way is now Instagram stories, and a lot of new videos I'm like doing that pretty regularly, where I might do 3 Instagram stories. And I might say something like, hey, what's up, Instagram? I just posted a new, or lead with a question. Like, are you curious about how to get better audio in your videos? If so, I just posted a new video with my best microphone recommendations. In the next one, I'll take a screenshot and make it kind of fancy, and you can link out. Everybody can link out on stories now. And then maybe a third one that says, so if you are interested in that, you can just swipe up and go watch that post. And so stories is definitely a good hack for linking out to videos. But again, don't just like every once in a while you pop in there and you're like, hey guys, go watch a video. You want to think about what are you doing regularly on stories, and then periodically promote videos in that combination of content that you're putting out.
Awesome. I have one more question I want to answer. It's from Local Realtor. If the channel is all informational, how do you make it seem exciting, specifically real estate on YouTube or Facebook? What I love about this question is, like, especially a lot of people in an industry like that, real estate, that might be like more boring, right? It's not going to be Casey Neistat level, like drone kind of footage. That's the point. Don't try to do something that's not like in your lane. And, you know, I see a lot of people mistakenly just promote their business instead. What I say is come from a value add position. In real estate, there's a lot of questions people have about buying a house, about selling a house, about getting loans, right? Can you make snippets of a video where you inform people on how to do those things, right? A lot of people want to know, what is the market price right now? Like, is it going up? Is it going down? You can make small little videos like that and not just post it to YouTube, but I think more importantly, post it to Facebook where you can hit like a local audience. You can actually reverse engineer this as well. What you do is look for the hashtag, like someone's using a certain hashtag in an area, and you start having conversations with them. If you have those videos that are very informative and adding value to people's questions or answering people's questions on your channel, when you're having this conversation and you're actually helping them out through the comments of these different social media platforms, and they go to your channel, it's very likely they might actually follow you. And the follow-up to that is make sure to continue always adding value to people's life, no matter what industry or business you're in. Actually, if you do this successfully, you might never have to actually promote your business. I do believe if you actually help somebody through a video, even an Instagram post where you're putting like statistics about the local real estate market, that people would be open to you promoting your business, as long as you come from a value first place when it comes to posting up content on things that aren't as exciting as drone shots and vlogs.
Absolutely. And kind of generally for everybody on that same question, if you're ever curious about how do you make uninteresting content more interesting, it really comes down to, I think, one thing as well, and that is personality. So 2 options here. You kind of have to decide how good is your personality, and be honest with yourself, and can you improve it? You know, if you already have some skills, how could you work on your communication, work on your energy, even get some coaching, watch some videos, practice more, level up your personality? But here's your other option. You might say, man, I just don't know if I have that energy, I have that personality. Who on your team, especially in real estate, maybe there's a spokesperson, man or woman, you know, somebody that like has the it factor. We talk to a lot of people that we do coaching with, consulting with, and sometimes we say, who's in your sphere that could be the talent? Because being on video is a certain kind of skill, and some people's personalities are just easier to watch, and some people are less easier to watch. So that's maybe a self-awareness, self-evaluation thing. Either level up your personality or maybe look for someone you could partner with that could communicate the information that's just magnetic.
Yeah, and just to add to that, you know, if you're that person that's a one-man band, you don't have a team, or maybe you just don't know that person, sheer passion sometimes does it. You know, I actually watch a lot of YouTube creators who are not that exciting, but they're so passionate about the content they're creating, right? He's not a great example because he actually has a lot of energy, is great on camera, but John Kohler has this gardening channel called Growing Your Greens, right? But he's so informative about the plants he's growing, how, you know, what fertilizers to use. He goes to conventions. He's adding so much value because he's so passionate that I actually will watch him even if he was boring. So if you're passionate about something, and if you're starting a business around that passion, most likely you have a lot of value to give. Don't discount the fact that just the information that you can share and teach somebody is enough. And in fact, what you can do is actually build on that to create the personality that is exciting and people want to watch.
I agree. And as a final thought there too, you know, always like be more patient with yourself with where you are. Never compare like your beginning to somebody else's middle. And one of my favorite things to watch, actually, if you guys want to Google some things, is if you go to the oldest Sean Thinks video on my Sean Cannell channel, go to videos by like newest to oldest. If you go to your real estate home deals channel, he's got a real estate channel. Go to the oldest video there. Go to the first Benji Man TV video. And what you're going to see is you're not going to see like pros that are polished and that are even great on camera, but everybody starts somewhere. And so maybe wherever you are right now in your journey, maybe you're discouraged with how fast your channel's growing. Maybe you're wondering like, do you have the talent or not? Things like that. Go watch those old videos. People who would look at those videos would not be like, yeah, those guys have got it. But it's just sheer will and persistence. You just stick it out, keep learning, keep getting better, keep practicing. You're gonna be so much better after your next 10 videos and then your next 100 videos. And it might sound like a lot of work, and it is, but you do definitely, you know, it's worth it. And greatness takes time. So keep leveling up, keep working on your craft, keep practicing, keep posting, and don't give up.
And circling back to the question of like, how do you prevent from losing subscribers? You always have to keep that in mind. Whatever it was that got you so passionate to get onto YouTube, to get onto social media in the first place, especially if you didn't have a personality or maybe you didn't have interesting content, whatever that heart was to give to somebody, to help with somebody, you have to keep that forever, right? It's when you start losing that and you start getting spammy, or it's all about promotions, or you're not really being creative anymore and you're sharing other people's content, when you can actually cause people to unfollow you, to not follow you on social media. Always remember, this is a relationship you're creating. So when your social media platform becomes an advertisement tool, you're gonna lose people. So the number one thing is always be passionate about what you're doing and putting out into the world, whether on YouTube or social media.
Absolutely. Guys, if you're new here and you're not subscribed, definitely subscribe. If you got value out of this video, can you smash the like button? And if you're watching this live, can you do us a favor? When the video comes down, the live chat disappears. It's super discouraging because then we can't see like everything that was said. But if you have a second, come back to the video, leave a comment. And the question of the day is, why do you unfollow people on social media? What are the things that you unfollow people for? Or did you just tune out for? And remember that some of the best tips and insights come from you guys, the video influencers community. So definitely in the live chat, but better in the comments once the video is done, let us know.
And keep them on here on Video Influencers. We're helping build your influence, income, and impact with online videos.
Austin, pivot as we land this. Show this. And guys, we got to go. We're going to shoot some more videos. We're here in the Pacific Northwest. Sunset. It's pretty beautiful right now, but we're not done yet. We're going to go batch produce some content in here. We appreciate you. Keep crushing it. Keep smashing it. And we'll talk soon.
Go that way. Is it already?